When U.S. President Barack Obama visits Kenya tomorrow to attend the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, he will be welcomed by a country that had expected closer attention from a man they see as their son. Jaffa has more on the frustrated sentiment of the African nation.
We don't want Obama to come to babysit.
I cannot comment that he has done a lot of things. We have been waiting him for a long time.
We feel disappointed because when he became president, we thought more things would come.
Africa is disillusioned. The man they claim as their son, American President Barack Obama, will commence his 4-day trip to the continent Friday. But this comes near the end of his 2 terms in office, in which more was expected.
Very much disappointed. We want our boy to come to our place.
The first African-American U.S. president, Obama has often been criticized for a half-hearted engagement in Africa, consisting more of words than action. Others see the advantages of such policy.
He actually gave Africans the responsibility to take charge of their destiny. When he was talking about, we need a new breed of leadership, a new focus, instead of always complaining.
The year Obama took office was also the year China overtook the United States as Africa's biggest trade partner, ramping up investments across East Africa and currently helping finance a gas pipeline in Tanzania, hydropower dams in Uganda, and roads, airports and rail projects in Kenya and Ethiopia.
The counterbalance is coming from mostly China. And the Chinese view of good governance is not necessarily the same as the American view.
This is Obama's 3rd major trip to sub-Saharan Africa after traveling to Ghana in 2009 and Senegal and South Africa in 2013. He'll now visit Ethiopia, the first time a sitting U.S. president will visit the country, and Kenya, where his father is buried in the village of Kogelo. He will finally be making the homecoming Kenyans have patiently awaited since his election in 2008.
He is President Uhuru's guest. That's what I understand. He's the son of Kenya, not of Kogelo. Even you are his brother, and every Kenyan is his brother.
But over the years, Barack Obama's ancestral homeland has been expecting special attention that never came.
Up to now, nothing has come. But we are expecting that duty is coming in July. We are expecting that even the face of the school will change. The school will be facelifted. We are expecting exchange program between American schools and our school.
We misled ourselves in this sense that we didn't grasp how the American system works, and we just expected that by him being president, he will automatically do what, for instance, your elder brother would do in Kenya.
Still, Obama's political rise to America's top office has been witnessed with pride across the continent, which, despite the high expectations which were shattered, now breathlessly awaits his presence.
And to understand how come, correspondent Jaffa is here with me in the studio.
Good evening, Lucy.
The obvious question is how come, but with Barack Obama focusing on domestic issues more than foreign issues, isn't it obvious?
Yes, it makes sense, in fact. But Obama's major problem is that he doesn't have a signature achievement in Africa, unlike his 2 predecessors. If we take a look at George W. Bush, then he funded HIV treatment across Africa. Bill Clinton, he signed a law that reduced the restrictions of import for 35 African countries. And so Obama, that doesn't have that much time. He ends his tenure in January 2017. He actually continued these initiatives, but he cannot claim them as his own. Now, many U.S. officials do come to the aid and support of Obama, saying that it is a perception of him ignoring Africa that is unfair, because they do state that there was the U.S. effort of fighting and containing the Ebola virus in West Africa, and $7 billion American dollars that were invested in Africa to expand the electricity supply there, that was launched in 2013. But if we look at reality, reality, then out of those 7 billion, only 132 million were actually implemented thus far. And there's several billions in the pipeline, but they're still waiting for lawmakers. And if we compare this to China, then billions and billions of dollars have been invested by China in infrastructure and the industry, and there's an emerging middle class in Africa that is worth investing in. As you mentioned, Obama, we acknowledge the fact that Obama has a lot of problems inside. He has his own African-American identity to cope with inside the country. He inherited wars and an economic crisis from Bush, so prioritizing Africa is pretty tricky.
You know, what we're looking that he abandoned the Middle East, he abandoned Africa, maybe the two regions that needed him the most. And my question is, how can he actually repair this if he can? Because the fact that he is an African American doesn't say that he needs to worry also for Africa.
So first of all, I'm sure he would disagree with the word abandoning. I'm certain that, yes, as compared to what he could, there was kind of an effort or investment as much as possible, but there is a growing US military footprint in Africa. Once again, if you compare it to the diplomatic and trade ties, it is lagging behind Europe and China. But I think the most symbolic thing is that the US military's Africa Command is actually still in Stuttgart, Germany. They still haven't found a host country suitable enough inside the African continent. I think this symbolizes the very problematic, suspicious relationships between the United States and Africa up until today, even with an African-American president.
Even with an African-American president, definitely. Shahal Pellet, thank you very much for this.